One question that I get a lot from a lot of people when I do demos is, it's great that you show all these experiences from all these customers, but do you guys at Microsoft use any of these? You see the numbers that we have high scale, but how do you really use it? So what I'm going to do in the next few demos is I'm going to show you a few concrete examples of how do we use it at Microsoft, specifically in our team. And for the first demo, again, we will bring the power of the platform by combining model-driven apps, Copilot Studio, Microsoft 365 Copilot, to help us improve the work of product managers and to help us in that task of evolving and hardening the platform. So let's get to the demo. And in this case, what you're seeing is one thing that we call the punch list app. So what is this? Remember that I mentioned that we are improving the products that you use, right? One of those products is model-driven apps. And we added a lot of AI capabilities, and we have some super compelling scenarios where you come and you interact with agents, but in those scenarios, there are a lot of paper cuts that we are aware of. So basically what we want to do is we want to know of every single thing that gets in the way of making our scenarios amazing for each one of you and solve them methodically. So what we did is we created an application to help us track all those issues. And this is the application. It's a model-driven app. It's a plain model-driven app. It starts in a generative page that we built, of course, with the help of a coding agent. But the most interesting part happens when we go to see the list of items that we have. And this is actually the real list of items. This is the app that we use, and instead of tracking it with email when we meet every week to review, we review it from here. Every item has a very simple description, but the important thing is it needs to have people assigned to it, so it happens. And I'm going to show you a type of query that I would ask here. For example, show all items in the area AI features grouped by delivery status. So as I ask this question, the data exploration agent kicks in. And one thing to mention, this agent is GA, available to all of you to use in your applications, and you don't need to change your app to use it. It just shows up there if you configure it to show up. And it gave me a chart, which is pretty awesome. Look how cool it is. And in this chart, I can click, and it will click further. It keeps getting really cool, right? But there's one catch. Let's look at the items. There is one that says NL filter group by. I asked to group by. I didn't ask a chart. And this grid that we have here supports group by. The agent doesn't know how to translate my request to a group by. So one of the items that we are tracking, that we hope that we will have done in the next couple of weeks, is that if I ask group by, I get the chart, but also I get group by in the grid. That is what I was intending to see and what I expected to happen. And this is the type of items that we tracked through this application. Now, we are talking about the power of the platform. I want to show you something else that is very cool that we could do. So if I come to Copilot, notice that the Copilot that we have here is the full M365 Copilot. And this is available in any of your applications. This is also another of the features that we brought to GA. So let's say that I need to prepare for an internal meeting or I have a quick community call. I could ask Copilot, hey, create a PowerPoint presentation to present to the community with all the features with ETA in June. And basically, because it's not only the full power of Copilot, but also fully grounded in the context that I have in this application, all the data in this application, it will read the app, and it's going to give me that PowerPoint. And it will take probably about 50 seconds. So what I'm going to do in interest of time, I wrote exactly this one before. So just wanted to show you already done, because you will see the same thing. Basically, what it will do is it will go ahead and create a PowerPoint presentation that actually is pretty good, and I can use, at least as a starter point, to create that community presentation. Now, I will leave it working for a little bit while I'll tell you what's next, what I'm going to show you next. Because probably you might be thinking, this looks cool, but probably there's an awful lot of work that you all need to do to track and make sure that things get done, right? Like, for example, how do you know when somebody completed their work, when somebody got an item that is out of date, etc., etc. So instead of nagging people manually, we created a team of agents to help us do that. And those agents we created using Copilot Studio. For example, here we have one that I call the past, well, it's not that I call it, it's its name. It's the past due tracker agent that if any item is more than 3 days past due, it will let me know. It will do something about it. And by the way, a very important thing, agents don't have to be complex. You can do very simple things. They need to be useful, not complex. So we have 4 agents that help us move the process, so PMs and engineering managers don't have to be on top of them. And what we do next is once we have the agents, basically what we can do is connect them to an application and show them in what we call the agent feed. The agent feed is a feed of activity of everything that the agents that are contributing to my process are doing. In this case, I connected these 4 to my application, one that screens that the work items have the data, make sure that we have people assigned to the agents, that anything is past due, etc. And now what I can see is everything that they've been up to, anything that they completed, but most importantly, anywhere where they need my help. And because the agent feed is fully integrated in the app, I here see an item that is 7 days behind schedule. That's not cool. If I click on it, I can see exactly what it is and I can do something about it. And this is how, with apps, Copilot Studio, Microsoft 365 Copilot, and all these technologies, the power of the platform, we can take a process and transform how we run it and make it way more efficient.